going on, everybody? Welcome back to another page from the playbook. This time, though, it's from kind of the alternate playbook, as today we're not going to be talking football. We're actually going to do a little bit of baseball talk today. That's right. We are a multi-sport show, people. If you're not already subscribed, hit that red subscribe button. Like the damn video. Seriously, it helps so much when videos are liked. The amount of views skyrockets when videos get liked. So if you can take the 3 seconds it takes to click that like button, we would all really appreciate it. Let's get into the MLB Trade Deadline. You can see I'm almost saying NFL just because I'm so used to talking football with you guys. But baseball, trade deadline's coming up. All-Star break just finished. We've got games going on that have already happened today, so we're getting into the second half of the season. This is where teams are essentially declaring themselves as either buyers or sellers and bringing in talent to make a push for the playoffs or even a World Series, and getting rid of players when your team is not very good, White Sox, and you have some talented players that you think you could get a haul for and start, jump-starting a rebuild. This is about that time. So I've got 4 players here that I think need to be dealt at this deadline to improve a team that wants to go for it and to also bring in a ton of prospects, a ton of talent, a youthful infusion into some other teams. Let's get into it. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Goldfine & Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their 2 things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlaybookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. First guy I want to talk about here is kind of the hot name from the trade deadline currently. It's Garrett Crochet, pitcher for the Chicago White Sox. I think Garrett Crochet's got to get out of Chicago. Obviously, the White Sox are terrible this year. They were supposed to be good, early 2020s, and it just never worked. Shocker, they brought in Tony La Russa to try and manage, and that didn't work. I can't believe it. And now that whole thing has just gone so poorly and so disappointing. White Sox fans, I'm sorry. It did not work out at all, and now you got to do something. You're second to last place in the entire majors. The team is no good, but you've got some stars, and Garrett Crochet is one of them. Only 25 years old. I think that the Baltimore Orioles need to pick up the phone and give the White Sox a call. Injuries to John Means, Bradish, Wells. Starting pitching is a huge need for them, even with the addition of Corbin Burns this past free agency period. 25 years old, multiple years of team control, and when you look at the Orioles in their farm system, they're the number 1 farm system in the MLB, even when you look at the players that they've graduated recently. And I'm not counting guys like Adley Rutschman, one of the best catchers in baseball already, who's still young. Gunnar Henderson, who just competed in the home run derby, who's still young. They've got the number 1 prospect in baseball in Jackson Holliday, who probably doesn't get dealt here. But they've got an excellent, excellent farm system, and they can part with some of that talent in order to bring in a potential front-line level starter in Garrett Crochet. You've got him for the rest of this season, plus 2 more seasons of arbitration before you have to give him a big deal if you want to, which you should. He has looked fantastic. He's been fantastic this year for a really, really crappy White Sox team. I think Baltimore, this is an all-in move. You want to go make a run to the World Series? Right now you have the best record in the American League. You can strengthen your team right now with the youth you have, with a player who you could easily afford for the next 2 seasons. In Garrett Crochet, I think it'd be foolish not to make this move. Get him out of Chicago and on a contender. Baltimore, pick up the phone. Next guy I want to talk about, another starting pitcher. I'm going to talk about Tarik Skubal with Detroit. He has been unbelievable. Currently the odds-on favorite to win the American League Cy Young. 26 or 27 years old. He's been fantastic. He's got 2 years of arbitration control still available to whoever gets him. And, man, next season, not even just talking this season, next season, can you imagine a starting rotation that starts off with Shohei Ohtani and Tarik Skubal? Because that's what I'm seeing in my head right now. I like the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers need to pick up the phone and offer Detroit a ransom for him. Detroit is still a young team that can do something, but they're not doing it this year. They're just, the bats aren't getting it done. The pitching hasn't been too great outside of Skubal. Take full advantage of this, Detroit. Get some of the Dodgers' top prospects and send him out there. I don't think there'd be a better 1-2 combination in the major leagues next year than Shohei Ohtani and Tarik Skubal. That would be unbelievable. And when you look at the Dodgers, their farm system's top 10 in the MLB for sure. But they've graduated pitchers who just haven't panned out for one reason or another. Dustin May has not had it. Julio Urias, with his issues, obviously not pitching for them at the moment. They need a frontline starter for this season because Shohei's not pitching. He's not going to pitch this year. And the Dodgers want to win the World Series every year. They do. Do they? No, but they want to. This team is obviously built to win. Shohei's on an MVP pace, but he can't pitch. Tarik Skubal has been unbelievable. He's cheap. He's the current Cy Young favorite for this season, and he could play with the MVP in Shohei Ohtani, who could also win the Cy Young next season. Just go get him. Pay the price. I mean, they have so much talent they can move. They've got good prospects, and they've got young MLB-ready talent ready to be moved. I think it's a move that helps this year, obviously. It gives them an ace for the rest of the way going forward. And then next year, look out, man, because that's back-to-back games. I mean, my God, imagine you're going up against the Dodgers and the first 2 games are Ohtani and Skubal. No thank you. Absolutely not. Next third guy I want to talk about here is the third pitcher as well. I'm going to talk about Mason Miller, the Oakland Athletics closer. He has been excellent this season. He has struck out. He has 15 saves out of 17 attempts. Only 2 blown saves for the A's, who do not obviously give him many attempts. I mean, just think about it. He's got not even half the amount of saves as Ryan Helsley does for the Cardinals. Just Helsley's obviously leading the league in saves, so that's why I mentioned him. But you look at what Miller has done, too. He has struck out 70 batters in 39 2/3 innings with a 5K to walk ratio. That is unheard of numbers. He's nearly striking out 2 batters every time he steps out there for 1 inning. He's almost striking out 2 dudes every single time. He has nasty put-away stuff. And a team that is known for going out and making big moves, a team that desperately needs a closer because their current closer leads the MLB in blown saves, is the New York Yankees. Yankees are fighting not just for their division with the Orioles. They're fighting for the number 1 seed in the American League. Their offense could maybe use a couple of pieces here and there, but then you have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. So do you really need much help? I don't think so. Not on the offensive side. I've seen a lot of people talk about maybe Luis Robert out there. I think if you're going all in, you go all in for someone like Mason Miller. He's going to be on such a reasonable or cheap deal. They can just renew his contract for league minimum for the next 2 seasons if they want to. That's how early on in the process he is. You've got 2 seasons of pre-arbitration renewal, and then you go through arbitration for several seasons, and then you can re-sign him, at which point you may not even want to because he's already been there for 5 years, and he's been your closer. That is so cheap. Clay Holmes is not getting it done. Like I said, leads the MLB in blown saves this year. No good. Go out. Go get Mason Miller. Get him out of Oakland. Give up what you have to give up. It's going to be a haul of prospects, and I'm not too familiar with the Yankees farm system, but I don't care. You give up your best prospects for a guy like this because you're not going to get a better closer than him, and you need one in the postseason. You want to overtake Baltimore. They're not going anywhere. You want to win the AL and make a return trip to the World Series in who knows how long. 14 years, I think, 2010 against the Phillies maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Who cares? Either way, it's been too long for the Yankees, I'm sure, and their fans who are sick of it. And you've got Judge, you've got Soto. Go for it this year. Why not? You can keep Miller for cheap. You can sign him to a long-term deal if you want to, or just renew his contract for league minimum. It's a no-brainer. He could be their closer for a long time at an unbelievable discounted price if they want. I think this is a move that every MLB team should be calling the Athletics. If you even think you can make the playoffs and you don't have a great closer, I don't know why they aren't on the phone with the Athletics. Hey, we'll give you our best prospects, man, because Mason Miller is that good. He threw the ball 104 miles per hour in the All-Star game, you guys. Get him the heck out of Oakland, please. And finally, for today's video, the fourth guy I'm going to talk about. If you guys want me to talk about more of these and go over some more predictions or deals that I think need to happen before this deadline, let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to do a second round of these. But to bring us home today, I'm going to talk about a shortstop that maybe a couple years ago you're thinking there's no way this guy's getting traded. Just go ahead and lock him into a long-term deal. That's going to be Bichette. He's not playing his best this year. The Blue Jays aren't playing their best this year. They're going to have to pay him after next season. Are they going to want to? I don't know. Is this core going to get it done? I know there's been reports about them looking to maybe trade Guerrero Jr. I think that'd be a mistake. I can't, in good conscience, put him on this list because I cannot see them trading him. But I can see them trading Bichette. He's only hitting .222 this season. Injuries have been kind of nagging. I think he could use a change of scenery. And after next year, he's a free agent. And the Blue Jays don't love to give out these big contracts, so they could get ahead of it, get a good amount of prospects. And I think the team that should be calling about him is the Cleveland Guardians. They have gotten terrible production out of their shortstop position this year. It has been a revolving door. They're 26th in the league in WRC+, and they're still playing fantastic. They have 58 wins. They're in first place in their division. They're only a couple games back of first place in the entire American League. Solidify the shortstop position, and who knows, maybe that change of scenery gets him back to playing like his all-star form. He's a 2-time all-star. He's only 26 years old. And if he plays great the rest of this season and next season, sign him to a long-term deal then. But if he doesn't, then you move on. No harm, no foul. I really think that would be great. It's not just a half-season rental, so you aren't, debating, is it worth the prospects? It's worth the prospects. Bring in the guy. Go for it. Why not? You're very, very good this year, Cleveland. Now's a good opportunity, and you're buying low. That's what you want to do. Buy low. This guy has played a ton better. He's not playing well right now. but he has played a ton better, and it's not age-related. He's only 26 years old. Make the move. Bring him in. I love this move for Cleveland. Those are the 4 guys that I'm talking about. These are deadline deals that I think need to happen for both the player and the teams. Let me know if you guys want more of these, and we'll be back with your regularly scheduled NFL content real soon as we get into deep dives of every NFL team, going over roster, match-by-match predictions for the entire NFL season. It's going to be super in-depth and a ton of fun. We can't wait for that to get going. But there's a little bit of baseball to talk about today. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for stopping by.